Honestly, if I tell you the truth, my parents' marriage was like a cancer patient. Like it was a sick,
Sheesh.
it was a sick child that was
Sheesh.
just continuously dying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they found ways to revive it and give it more pain, and then revive it and then give it more pain. Things would be good, and then they were trash, and then they were good, and they were trash. Like it was a roller coaster.
My dad leaving, and obviously leaving through the divorce as well, is going to be a thing that I deal with till I die.
Yeah.
Right? I thought it would be gone, but it clearly hasn't left. Right?
It's written into your tapestry,
still,
dude.
Yeah, it's still there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to 2.5 Husbands, where we celebrate becoming better husbands.
It's 2.5, even though there are 3 husbands, and that's because at some point, one of us, if not all of us, was not fully the husband that we were supposed to be.
And that's why we actually come here on a weekly basis to discuss some of the issues that we face, some of the issues we are seeing around us, and we hope that the journey that we started with you and for you is going to benefit you,
And yours.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Are you good, dog?
Hey, I'm living, my friend. I'm living.
Good, good. Are you back on these podcast streets?
Hey, let's not talk about it. Like, I have a plan. My comeback is imminent. But yeah, right now I'm just putting things on so that they don't cancel my podcast on the internet. So we're here right now.
Come on now.
Get life into it. What can we do?
Come on now. What's
Anyway.
up, Trey?
I'm living, my friend. I'm existing to
Ish.
the best of my ability.
Yeah, it's that time of the year, hey? It's real.
Bro.
It's real.
But yeah.
No, that's good, man. Thanks for pulling through.
No worries.
This is exciting.
I don't know. But
yeah.
okay.
For me. Because I think I'm going to have like a category for friends of the podcast.
Oh, friends of the pod. Hey.
Makes you sound more official.
Yeah, also I picked a car.
You did.
Yeah, it's American
did.
muscle, like Dom Toretto. I don't know what car
You
it is.
did. You
I
said
don't
you
know
were
things.
jealous of us picking cars. in
Ah,
all
I
these episodes.
chose one car. Kai.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. You can fiddle with that. That's actually, that was the plan from the get-go.
Really?
That whenever we have guests, then they can fiddle with that stuff to calm themselves.
Nice.
So,
this is a good plan because I
let's
don't
do
know
it.
what this is, but it's pretty.
Come on now.
Yeah, and it's red. So
Come
I'm
on
in.
now.
Anyway,
Do not ramshackle that car. Okay.
what does ramshackle mean, Jim?
Grace used ramshackle.
What does it mean? When you
I
said
don't
it.
know.
Exactly.
I don't know. When the man said ramshackle, I was like, good Lord, you can't help
Guys,
us.
some of these words, I feel
Help
like we
us.
play with them and we're not supposed to. But anyway.
Anyway, let's not make this episode ramshackle. Ramshackle.
Don't ramshackle.
Yes, yes.
Anyway.
We're going to talk about being children of divorce off of Theola's episode, which was a powerful episode.
Yo.
That episode was fire, right?
No, I had to pause a couple times, which is why I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Like,
We're getting Theola back. She doesn't know this, but
I will.
We're getting her back.
She knows now.
Now you know. Anyway, so yeah, I was actually gonna put out like a commentary or a response to
Yeah.
that episode as a child of divorce myself, and I feel like, you know, saying I'm a child of divorce, it's like I'm wearing an official title and I'm making that part of my identity. But anyway, we're not
yeah.
gonna be very touchy about that. It is what it is.
It
My
is what
parents
it is.
divorced.
It was a decision from two adults that weren't you.
Yeah.
So,
Hundreds. But the reason why I wanted to put it up is because obviously that episode gave me a lot of things to reflect on.
yeah.
You know, one, understanding my mother's pain. So me and my mom talk, but like we've spoken in depth about certain things, but part of our survival mechanism is
Yeah.
laughing about stuff.
Yeah.
And so we've just laughed this whole divorce thing, you know, in the course of our lives.
I'm dead.
And that's part of how we survived it.
Yeah.
But I think Theola's conversation helped me just be like, shucks, man, like, I wonder what my mother went through. Like, I've always wondered, but then it's like, oh, smack, like, this kind of gave me a little insight into the, you know, the extent of her experience and the pain she might have
Dude.
gone through, you know what I mean?
When you have those thoughts, Like,
Yeah.
I think that's when, like, and it hits you later
Yeah.
than you expect, that, like, you're going to sit in other people's pain of the period because you're so lost in your own
Sure.
experience.
Sure.
But yeah, because
Sure.
I think I very, like, recently, and they've been divorced for going on 10 years now.
Yeah.
I only recently started sitting in, like, actually, what did my mom go through?
Yeah.
Like her, not in relation to me. What did she go through?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yo.
Yeah. No, that thing is back. But then it also helped me realize I knew that I was doing this,
Yeah.
trying to get answers as a kid for why my parents divorced.
Yeah.
And then using relationships to get those answers, right? And obviously for me, there's times in my marriage,
Yeah.
and again, obviously this is 2.5 husbands, so there's times in my marriage where I didn't use my marriage to
Yeah.
get answers, but then I would, like, me and my wife would be fighting,
Yeah.
and then part of my thought process would be, maybe this is why my dad left. Maybe this is why my mom couldn't keep up with the stuff anymore.
Heavies.
Maybe, you know what I mean? And then I'm trying to answer that kid
You're trying to process through.
who's trying to be like, why
Yeah.
did these people actually end this? Why did our family end? You know what I mean? And then another time it happened was when my kid was born.
Hectic.
Right? So, and again, my kid relatively well behaved compared to most kids.
Yeah.
Right? She slept day one. There was I think for the first year we had to lie to other parents. You know, who were like,
Yeah, she doesn't sleep.
We can't sleep.
We're
And
so
then I'm also
tired.
like, yeah. Yeah. My wife is like, I'm pinching her. I'm like, shh, keep quiet, girl. Like, let's not be those people, right? I know we're blessed, but chill, right? Let's be average. Let's be okay. Let's be normal.
Yeah, we're so tired.
We are so tired. Then they're like, oh, Zaya's taking, it's Zaya's nap time. I'm like, yeah, it's been for 6 hours. It's been her nap time.
She slept already. My child's
anyway.
rested. But yeah.
But in moments when
Yeah.
it, like, you know, me and Lily are not on the same page, Zaya's probably like losing her mind.
Yeah.
Work is tough. And then I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah, maybe this is why things ended. Because, like, how am I going to stay here like this? You know what I mean? When the day she was born, I had this overwhelming sense of responsibility to keep her alive.
Yeah.
And I think you should have that as a parent, or we need to, like, pray for you.
Makes sense.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so I had that, and then I thought, hey, maybe that's why my dad left. Like, the overwhelming responsibility just got too much.
I mean, I get that.
So it's in moments like that where I was like, shucks, man, am I trying to use my being a father, my being a husband to try and answer questions only my dad could answer?
Dude.
You know, I've obviously had to some extent conversations with my mom, but
Yeah.
I don't think and it's fine, it's her experience.
Yeah.
I don't think I had comprehensive answers. But anyway, that's what we're going to chat about, man, you know?
I'm excited,
How
kinda.
all of that stuff has colored how we do relationships.
Okay.
How you've done relationships yourself, and you know,
Yeah.
just even that period, man. Somebody put a comment on Nyaleti, so giving you a shout out. Bosco, if you don't know anything about Bosco, go check out Bosco on Instagram. She's doing great things.
Yeah.
But she was like, yo, man, let's hear from children of divorce, you know, how
Yo.
the stuff has played out for them, etc.,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So we were like, all right, let's honor that, man, because
Okay.
I was also having the same thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So maybe dial back, man. You were trying to think how long your parents have divorced.
Yeah, so I think we're sitting at, it was 2012. So the thing is, my parents' divorce was a process.
Yeah.
So, and all of that pain was a season. So
Yeah.
it's a thing where, like, I don't know when the official date of this was signed, court was involved. You know what I mean? Because my parents went through a lot for a good maybe 3 or so years,
Yeah.
where it was restraining orders against people you live with.
Sheesh.
Our local police knew us personally. No, it was like it was a thing. So it was a thing where, like, they just went back and forth
Yeah.
a lot, and eventually it came to the end. But even the end was messy, because it was like, okay, cool, they're divorced, but then now we have to disengage.
Yeah.
Like, we have to take the pieces apart.
Yeah.
And then finally there was my mom's move out, and I know my mom moved out in October 2012.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just over 10 years actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I stopped talking to my dad 2013. Yeah, so that's why I'm like the 10 years is also because that's also linked to when I disengaged with my father. Disengaged with my father, which also was, I guess, my divorce, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I think about 10 years now, about a decade,
Sheesh.
if not just over.
I'm thinking even, so one, divorce, how it affects you and relationships, but then as a girl, divorcing your dad
Yeah.
and having, not having a male role model in your life and how that has played out in relationships. I didn't think.
But
Sure,
that's a different
we can talk about
conversation.
that and even how that colored some of that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't think this conversation is gonna go to daddy issues, but
Yeah,
here we
let's-
are. Here we are.
Yeah. Like and comment, and we'll do another one on daddy issues, friends. But yeah, that's a different part of
Here we
words.
are.
But yeah,
Okay, so just over 10 years.
yeah, just over 10 years.
My parents separated in 2004.
Yeah.
Officially divorced in 4 years later, so 2008.
So you were young when they were divorced.
Yeah,
Well,
when they separated.
Yeah, when they separated.
I was 15, and then when they divorced, I was doing my first year.
I was doing my third year.
Shucks.
And that was obviously all of it happened while I was in university. I think that's the part that was the worst, is the fact that, like, people think that if you're an adult and your parents divorce, it's less painful.
No.
The thing about that actually tripped me up was the fact that I was an adult, which means that you've already put them in the "you're going to be married for the rest of your lives" box and moved on with your life. You know what I mean? My parents will always be married.
Yeah.
That's who they are. That's
Yeah.
their thing.
Yeah.
Problems, and I think that's the thing that shook me.
Yeah.
Because I never, I was the kid that was like, wow, parents are divorced. Hectic. What does that feel like?
Sure.
Like for most
I don't know what that is.
you know what I mean? For most of my life.
Yeah.
And then I was one of those kids. And who do you talk to when you're 22?
So how did it hit you?
Honestly, it was an ongoing thing. There was a lot going on between them. Ironically, all the things that people say are the causes of divorce, money, sex, what is it? Money, sex, and something else. I forgot the other one. But those two were big ones, and they were prevalent. They were a thing. And yeah, I think there was domestic abuse, there was cheating, there was
Sheesh.
money issues, and it all just kind of came into this messy pot of nonsense. To the point where I actually, this is a little known fact amongst, I guess, the people who know about my parents' divorces. My dad actually sat me down one day and was like, "What do you want?" And he wasn't asking in like a nice fatherly way. It was more just because my dad is a different character. Like I said, daddy issues, another episode. But he was like, "Okay, what do you think?" You shouldn't be asking a 22-year-old as a whole 50-something-year-old, but it's fine. We're here.
Yeah.
But he's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Please get divorced."
Yeah.
And I think that was the moment,
Sheesh.
because after that things went real quick.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it was all happening, because my mom was very set on, I will not divorce this man unless he applies for it. She was like, as much as, look, I'm going through all these things, he's cheating on me, he's beating me, she was like, I'm not divorcing him unless he says he wants to get divorced. And I want to say, the good person in me, or the person who wants to be good in me, wants to say that I did it for her, but I really did do it for myself.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do it
You were
anymore.
struggling, yeah.
Because they were using me as because that's another thing about being an adult in an adult divorce, is they can talk to me.
Yeah.
I will understand.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid they have to protect.
Yeah.
Even though I still was a kid they had to protect.
You are forever there, kid.
But yes, in that situation, it felt like I wasn't a kid they had to protect. So
Yeah.
it was this person versus this person using this.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was tired. I wanted to divorce from the situation. I wanted the divorce. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Be done with each other.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, it all started happening.
Shucks. The crazy thing is, when I remember you had said that when you told us your story, and I like literally metaphorically sit on the other side of the table. I didn't want it. I did not want that thing wrecked me.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, it came left field. Like, came from left field, right? Dad's presence is there. We're a family. We're building together.
It's
we're praying
good,
together.
yeah.
Things are good. Then literally one day, just flipped. Like, it was a switch, bro.
Really?
It was a switch. Trey, I went to
Dang.
I went to school in the morning. Nah?
No, guys.
I came back home. There were white people in my house.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay? I'm like, Dingamlas?
Who y'all?
Mahua?
Mama Hoodie people.
No, Mama's gone. I came back home. Mama's gone.
No.
So my dad with like a couple of white people in my house.
Oh no.
And then I'm like,
what's the story?
what is popping? And they're like, yeah, you need to pack your stuff and bounce, bro. Okay.
As for you, need to pack your stuff and bounce.
No, we're all packing our stuff.
Oh.
The white people are moving in.
Wait, what? Hold on. I thought the white people would. Wait, what?
Everything is being sold. I left to go to school, bro.
My G, make it make sense.
That's the sense. That your dad is present. Your life is going one way. Your parents are together.
Happening.
You've seen them fight before.
Yeah, like duh.
It's normal.
Yeah.
And again, because of the age difference, like we grew up together.
Yeah.
15 years difference between me and my mom, 20 years difference between me and my dad.
Yeah.
So we're growing together.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever there's stuff, we'd all speak.
Yeah.
And for like the first 9 years of my life, it's just the trio, right?
Yeah.
So I'm involved in all the decisions. You know, sure, there's probably big things they didn't involve me in.
Yeah,
but
but
like if we're talking
You're
about
in
money,
it. Yeah.
I'm there. Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about what church to go to, I'm there. We're talking about what house we're gonna get, I'm there.
I'm also there.
Like, yo, I'm getting groomed and trained and discipled. I'm like, this is
This
life,
is great,
bro.
guys.
Right?
Aye.
The first time I go to school, bro. Grade 9. New school, by the way.
No.
New school. New neighborhood.
Buddy.
We just moved in.
No. So you chat.
It's been 2 months. We moved into this house. All right. I'm like, yeah, man. We on the up and up. Life is like.
It's coming together.
Bro, I come back from school.
No.
There's just Ngambla's there. Hey, I'm like, my English bundles are left at school.
Yeah, like
I'm not ready for this one.
Like I'm trying to make friends.
What
I've been
is
here
gonna
for
make
2
sure
months.
now? What is this? They're like, nobody, you have to pack your bags, right? Pack my bags, bro. So I'm thinking, okay, packing my bags, we're gonna, the boxes are still fresh. They in the garage. We're gonna get the boxes, put stuff. My dad is like, nah, son. They buying even the spoon, son.
I have so many questions. Wait, what? Oh, wait.
So
what did you?
He sold everything, bro. Like everything. Alles. So that my mom doesn't get anything. Sold alles. Alles, bro. So now I'm like, okay, just take your uniform. You need to go to school tomorrow. Let's figure this thing out. We have to leave. Bounce, bro. And that's, for me, I'm like, but at that point, which is my personality, I don't say anything.
Because.
I'm just like, all right, cool, man. Dad has always figured out stuff.
Yeah, you'll figure
It's
it out
okay.
again.
I don't know what's going on. We'll be cool. My life was never the same after that. Like, it was just.
That is insane.
And so now growing up, I'm like, getting into relationships, I'm trying to get answers.
Now I understand the answers. Now I understand the answers thing. Because in my case, I was pivotally involved in the process. You get what I mean? Like, that's why I can't give you dates and like place because I was there.
Yeah.
I wanted the divorce because I was there.
Sure.
So I think that's what it is I'm like, I don't know what it feels to feel like it's a precipitated change. It was an ongoing thing. Like it slowly deteriorated. Like it was, honestly, if I tell you the truth, my parents' marriage was like a cancer patient. Like it was a sick, it was a sick child that was just continuously dying. But the thing is, they found ways to revive it and give it more pain, and then revive it and then give it more pain. Things would be good, and then they were trash, and then they were good, and they were trash. Like it was a roller coaster. And I think my dad asking me that question was like my thank you.
Wow.
Wow. Let's get off this thing, all of us. It will be better for everyone. Let's just leave. The only issue is, I will say that being said, I don't think, because how young I was, I don't think I knew what I was asking for.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it ended the suffering, that suffering.
Sure.
But I didn't know that it had so many effects.
Yeah, sure.
Because like I said, I never paid attention to divorce. I never paid attention to what a divorce would look like. I never thought about what my life would look like if my parents weren't together.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what divorce would do to me.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I just want to get off the dang ride.
Yeah.
I just want to get off. I want us all to get off, because let's be serious, everyone in their own corners, including me.
Want to be here. Yeah.
I didn't put myself with any of them. I was like, I got my corner, you got your corner,
This
you
is a
got your corner.
triangle.
Everybody
Yeah.
in your
We're
corners.
not doing this thing.
Like, we're not doing this anymore. Because like I said, I was part of the gross little
I
triangle.
wish I had that question, hey?
You think, what would you have said?
No, obviously.
But like,
I wish I had
now
that
knowing
question,
what you know
man.
now, would you have said no?
Yeah, I would have still said no. Let's work on this rubbish, perfect.
Really?
Yeah, let's. Because that's the thing. That's another. Like I've always desired, and that's what I want to ask you. I've always desired to be married because of my parents, even after the divorce. Right? When I became a Christian,
Yeah.
and obviously my primary reason for getting married changed.
Yeah.
Wanted to glorify the Lord, but before that, like even with the divorce, bro, I'm like, me, I'm sold on this marriage thing.
Let's
bro.
do it.
I'm getting married, bro. And then when they divorced, what really motivated me is I don't want that.
I don't want to do it like that no more. Like,
I don't want no divorce in my story. So I'm getting married. One, because I saw how good it was when it was good.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I'm just going to end this rubbish. We're not getting divorced here. No other generation.
Yeah,
after
no
me is-
generational. What
Come on now. No one else is getting divorced
No
after this,
pests
right?
over here.
But then you get kids who divorce and then are like, because of that, I don't want none of this stuff, bro. I don't want to get married. I don't want whatever. Relationships are just going to be casual, whatever.
I'm
the
not
thing
trying to
is,
be
right?
that hectic.
Yeah. And for me, I was like, bro, if I begged for that question. Wow. Begged, bro. So when you say your was a roller coaster before the thing, when they separated from that crazy event of me coming back to school and everything is being sold, right up until they actually signed the papers, then
Your
the
roller
mess
coaster
was
began. There we go.
Right? For me, that's when the mess, and I begged for that question, bro. I was like, let's sit down, dog. Let us.
But by the end of the roller coaster, when they finally separated, would you have said yes or no?
I still would have.
Hectic.
Because that thing rocked my life, bro.
I get you.
I ended up, and there's people, I ended up homeless because of that thing.
Yo.
Right? Like, there were people I went to varsity with who didn't realize how much my life was a wreck. My life was ramshackled.
Ramshankled.
For the 3 years, it was the worst years of my life. Besides the fact that I'm like, I wasted my money at that school.
Yeah.
But just everything else that was happening, because then the divorce was official, first year, and then first, second, third year. Hell, bro. Hell. And the thing is, with my dad, like, nicest guy ever. So all of the stuff, and I mean yours as well, all of the stuff is happening, and dude is just like, I'm an angel. and
You were lucky.
you know,
You were lucky.
But how did that, what side of the table did you land on? I landed on, obviously, I still want to get married. I think marriage is beautiful.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 and that pressed me deeper. For you,
Where did I end up?
yeah.
Can I tell you the real irony?
Yeah.
I think because of the way my parents' marriage was,
Yeah.
I think I did what you did, but like times 100. Like, I over-romanticized relationships. Because the thing is, and my mom will even say this, so I'm not saying anything that she hasn't said herself, but she's like, what happened with my parents is they dated and were together for 10 years. And then my mom literally gave my dad an ultimatum and said, I'm having another baby, so... And then my dad was like, let's get married.
Yeah.
And a year later, here I am.
Come on now.
So, but my mom even said it. She's like, the minute you were, like, not the minute, obviously, but when you were born, that was the end of what was effectively our relationship.
Wow.
That's when my dad stopped being present. So, and I think I knew. So I think I knew that this is not what marriage looks like.
From day dot.
From day dot.
Sheesh.
So, but the only issue is that left a lot of space for me to create what I thought a relationship slash marriage would look like. So it's not that I wasn't going to do what they were doing, because they were doing it wrong anyway.
Sure.
Any person knows that they were doing it wrong.
So anything you heard on an R&B song, you like, me, I want that.
I was there. I mean, I want to say I'm not there anymore, but that would be a lie. But like in a real
we
way.
pray. We are praying.
Please pray, friends. Like the romantic girlies are struggling.
We are praying. We're going to have an episode on red flags. I'm not saying with who, but once you over-romanticize things, red flags look white.
But this is the thing. So I didn't have the experience of happy families. I always knew my family was different.
Shucks,
Like,
bro.
I always knew, because my dad existed in a world where everything was done for him.
Yeah.
I've said this to a couple friends, including you, where I'm like, the idea of submission that is described like in the Bible or any other version of submission doesn't freak me out. It doesn't faze me, because that's the only version of marriage I know. But the only thing is, in the case of my mother's submission, I think it took me a while to realize that it was just not with the right person who was deserving of that submission.
Sheesh.
And unfortunately, for a very long time, I just thought that this is how you are in relationships. So submitting is not it's a setting in my brain. It's there. Because my dad would show up, sit down, and the rest would happen. Food would be brought on a tray with a hot cloth and a drink of his choice. And then when the food was done, he calls somebody. We take the tray away.
You know when I'm like, yes, see. Me at work. Listen, me, I'd lick the streets, bro, as my job. If somebody would not listen, I'm not saying my wife should do that. You do more, girl. You do more, but you do more. But when I hear that and then dude spits on that, I'm like, it's like, you cats don't know, bro.
Yeah, because we never saw him. We saw him at night, and it was also a thing like on time if he came back late. Like, we would put his food in the microwave, but even then, if there was an inkling of someone awake, that person would be awakened to serve him the food.
Shucks.
My dad didn't know he didn't know where anything was in the kitchen. To the point where sometimes we would even set the timer on the microwave so he knew exactly what to warm it at.
I'm laughing because I'm like, we never had a microwave growing up because my dad was present. We didn't need to warm up food.
Nah, dog. It was a whole thing. And keep in mind, Kana go air when he's late.
I got a microwave later on because he wasn't present.
You made it, my friend. No, but like, that's the thing is, also keeping in mind, if he's coming back that late, where was he?
Yeah, no, listen.
Which is another little layer that's also its own conversation.
Listen.
But it was a thing. So like, we'd serve him dessert, drink, whatever it is. And it would be like a literal someone take the order, whatever. And
You guys had dessert during the week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, I'm not going to lie.
My childhood has just been ramshackled. Wow.
No, to the point where my mom realized that we were spending too much money on buying Woolworths desserts. Because look, I'm not going to lie, I had a very comfortable childhood. But then she
you
was
had
like...
desserts. Like, you don't even have to say much. Forget what school you went to. Forget what car you had. You had dessert during the week.
Okay, fine. We had dessert during the week. Wow. Anyway, so then my mom actually learned how to make those desserts. So as a result, my mom learned how to make tipsy tart, malva pudding, and she made banana loaf so that we'd stop buying muffins. Like, my mom baked so that we didn't have to buy the desserts. Wow. Like, that was the type of wife my mother was.
Wow.
So this is why I'm like, it's not a foreign concept, because my mom went above. Not even above, like she was there. You know what I mean? So like me submitting to someone's like, okay, whatever. Because you don't even
But that's even nuts, just how your version of submission, as much as that's good, but it's tainted.
It's hella. And I don't even think I've reached the point where I know it's tainted.
Like it's good in the sense that, like, I'm like, yo, man, if you have a spouse who's serving another spouse, you know, which I believe both spouses need to serve each other, and here's a model of a female, as a girl, who's serving and giving of herself, But I'm like, for what?
That's the problem.
Motivated by who?
What?
By what?
By what? Also, keeping in mind, my mother wasn't a Christian at the time.
Sure.
So she found Jesus later on in the relationship. So it's not that she was doing it on the basis of Jesus called me to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was just that way. And keeping in mind, she had a full-time job. She was a director of a company, and she showed up to my concerts and stuff.
yeah.
She did it all. And that's why I'm like, there's a lot that I take from who my mother was in the marriage.
Yeah.
But it's just, I need to now configure who do I put in the insert name here that is deserving of who my mother was. And unfortunately, the only example I have is my dad, which means, rolling into the crux of the conversation, I look for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look for that guy.
I told you,
That's
Daddy
the
issues.
guy. I'm like, ooh, emotionally unavailable? What?
It's gonna leave me in a couple of years.
You don't
That's
want
my
to
guy.
spend time with me?
That's my guy.
Yes.
Sheesh.
And with modern twists, of course, like things like, because now I'm independent and I'm
Sheesh.
grown. So it's one of those things where independent women. So like, if you don't want to spend time with me, I'm just like, yeah, you just give me the freedom to be me.
Wow.
Can't they actually?
Wow.
You don't actually like me,
Wow.
if we're honest,
You're just looking for your dad.
pretty much.
Sucks, bro.
Because legit, now that I think about it, now that we're saying it out loud, my ex relationship, my most recent relationship, one of my friends actually said this to me. She's like, when we sat all together and you were talking, he looked at you with disdain.
Shucks, bro.
Like the words you were saying were annoying him.
Shucks.
Like he wanted you to stop talking. And I'm like, what? And I realized, I'm like, my dad was the same. He didn't have the time nor the patience for who my mother was. He just needed what she could bring. Because she really did. She was the maketh the man woman. You know what I'm saying? The upgrade you there, what? Sorry. But like, that's it. Like he needed who she was, which is actually ironically, you say that, how could he mess it up? But it was just, you know, when you have something for so long, that you start taking it for granted.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, like the maketh of the man. Like he walked in, ate, whatever, slept, woke up. All his clothes were freshly ironed, pressed, and whatever. He would put it on, grab a bottle of water, or have his tea made a certain way. And it was all ready. It's not that these things, like, he didn't contribute. It was just, everything was done. Wow. You know, like how, like, yeah, I guess, I don't know how to find an example, but yeah, it's like that. And then he'd grab a bottle of water and leave.
Wow.
And we'd repeat it again every day. There was one time me and my dad actually had a fight because I think I was just, like my brain couldn't compute what the pots was going on here.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this doesn't make sense. No one else does this. And obviously I went on sleepovers and blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, I grew up as an only child, even though I have half siblings.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, there was a point one day when I just bucked against him. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was like maybe 13. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. And like, I stood up for myself.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? My dad didn't talk to me for like 4 days. And because
You're 13.
I was 13. I was like, no, this isn't right.
Grown man
what
doesn't
makes you the
talk.
king? No. No, I came with all the attitude and the neck.
That's
I was
fine.
there. So I came at him hard. But obviously I didn't have the right words. I didn't have any of the, like the argument at the core of it was right.
Yes.
It's just, I wasn't
Execution.
at the age, the maturity, the anything to convey what I was feeling. Also keeping in mind, they've all been doing this for years.
Sure.
I'm the youngest person in the house
Yeah.
by 30 or so years.
Sure.
I'm the only young person in the house. No, legit. Keep in mind, my mother had me at 35.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And my dad is 5 years younger than her, so he was about 30 when I was born. So,
Sure.
youngest person in the house.
Sure.
So everyone is just like, she's being a child, whatever, let it go. My mom proceeded to make the plate.
Wow.
Because she was like, okay, my child, I think you're having a moment. And everything just proceeded. So
Yeah.
it just felt like I was being crazy.
Yeah.
And he didn't talk to me for 4 days. And then eventually I had to say sorry because child.
Wow.
And we moved on and we just kept doing it.
Sure.
It was just our routine.
And that stuff trained you now.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, so the kind of the last dude that you ended up with,
Yeah.
that you were dating, you know, obviously identifying traits that your dad has.
Yeah.
your exes before him?
So I haven't actually dated in any real and serious long-term way. He was probably my most serious, and even then that only lasted 11 months. So was it serious?
The intention was serious.
The intention was serious.
Yes.
But I think he was the first one where I noticed it.
Okay.
Because in him, it all came together and I had enough time to notice it.
Yeah.
Because before it was like, I'd have like a 2-month thing here, like a 1 month,
yeah.
or like talking situation, whatever the kids call it. But this was the first time I had time to identify and be like, why actually am I here? Like, what's...
But you had also grown in your faith at that point.
Yes, so that's another thing, which
At
is...
least had walked a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, is also I'd grown in my faith. I thought I'd grown out of the trauma. I think he came at a time where I was just desperate to do the right version. You know what I'm saying? Do the correction, the processing.
Sure.
And not even really answer the questions, because at that point I didn't realize I was processing. Because I was so involved in the divorce that I felt that I dealt with it as they dealt with it.
Yeah, sure.
Even though I was just an accessory to what they were going through. I didn't realize the damage it had done to me. I didn't realize what was written into my brain. And it was in this relationship that, and ironically, I hate to say it because it's still a healing process, I don't even know if I'm okay. Because I express this. I express this to you where I'm like, I won't know if I know how to carry a healthy relationship in a healthy way with, you know, the right version of submission and whatever it is until I'm in one, because I'm not that girl on a day to day.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're two different girls
Yes.
is probably the first red flag. Next episode, but like the first red flag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that's what that's the biggest effect is I didn't realize I was seeking out my father until I had spent enough time with someone similar to my father.
Sheesh, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually a big chat, because I've always said, you know, that we marry our parents.
Yep.
Or at least find majority of the traits we look for in people. I'm trying to sneeze. Of traits that are prevalent in our parents, right? And yeah, there's probably a study done.
I'm
about
sure.
that stuff somewhere.
It exists, dude. Like,
Would you say that the short-term relationships you had, it's probably an unfair question,
No, but ask it.
were informed by the divorce?
yes.
Okay. How?
The first, bless you. The first, because I just wanted to feel something different in all the various unhealthy ways. The second, someone got me, because that's another thing, is my dad wasn't very present as a father, let alone a husband. So someone who was happy to listen to me talk and be Tracy in whatever version. And the minute that happens, I'm in. You don't gotta fill in any forms. You got time. I'm in.
You have ears.
You got ears.
They work.
And you
They're
answer
itchy.
and you
Okay.
pick a word in my sentence and you say it back to me. I'm in. With him, it was just, he was so pleasant and nice.
Yes.
And I was like, this is it. And in that case, in every situation though, the constant of all of them is I've always overwhelmed whoever I'm with. I've always had too much. Like I come at you like if I'm in.
I'm in. Is that you? Or is that you with a scar?
I don't know. That is a good question, Dr. Black. That is a good question.
Because I'm a practiced. I just brat. It's not from hurt.
Yeah.
I just brat. That's how I process life.
Yeah.
But I don't overwhelm people. I think I have a thing.
No.
So I'm trying to figure out if, because I know you talk.
Yeah.
I know you talk.
But yeah, I think it was just, I've always known that I can overwhelm people.
Okay.
Because I'm tall, I'm loud, and I'm just a large person. Like I take up space.
Yes.
And I think that's probably one of the lessons that I think the journey of Christianity has taught me is there's moments where you can just roll back and it doesn't make you less you.
Sure.
But in that situation, I was just seeking just being accepted by somebody. So then in that relationship, he was just a nice guy and he listened to me when I talked. And I still, I mean, post the most serious of the relationships, there was another guy I chatted to for a while. And in his thing, he wasn't just listening, but like listening and returning with thoughts that fed into the thing I was saying. Terrible for me. The worst for me. But give me little bits. I'm in. I'm signing a contract.
Come on now.
Let's go.
So what was terrible about that one? Because I'm trying to think if he was, you know, good, godly, wants good intentions, has marriage as part of his goals for this thing.
Yeah, sure, all those things.
Were all those things there? Okay. So that's what
was terrible about it.
terrible.
I mean, other stuff as well, but I'm not trying to expose people on the internet.
No, that's fine. That's
but
fine.
I think it's exactly that. Like I always seeked just full acceptance because I never spent time with my father.
Yes.
And I knew how to love on someone wholeheartedly with with blinders on.
Yes.
And I was like, I just need you to show me a sign of that same thing. Obviously, it was a false version. It was an empty version.
Yeah.
But just listening to me and responding in a way that feels like you're hearing me was big for me.
Yeah.
Because I felt like every time I went somewhere, it would either be too much, where it didn't feel like I was being me either, or be less. It was never just someone took me as the Tracy that I'm serving right now. And in his case, it was like, that was the first time I felt like that. And I was like, everything else be damned.
Yeah.
This is happening. Everything else being a lot of things that should not be damned. Just keep in mind.
Yes.
Like, a lot of things that should not be damned.
Yes.
But I was like, no, guys. Like, this feeling that I'm feeling is important.
Ish.
You know? And that's the thing is I'm in. Like, I'm a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Because I'm naturally indecisive as a person. And there's a point where I was just like, you know what, Tracy, just start making decisions. And I did. And it's been good for me in other spaces. But in relationships, it's a thing where you need to still give it the time to figure out if, are we a thing or not? Is this going to work? Are we compatible? All of those things. Me, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sharp. I'm in. So when we getting married?
Yeah.
You need time. Okay, cool. I mean, take your time.
That's cool, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just bought McDonald's, but I already saw that as a sign that we're gonna have 7 babies.
Exactly.
The M at McDonald's was for marriage.
Exactly.
The M at McDonald's
It's a
is
sign.
for
and you got me 4 nuggets for each of our baby
Come on
nuggets.
now. Come on
We're
now.
gonna have 4 nugget babies, and they're gonna be
We'll
cute.
name the first one Donald.
Donald just because.
Come on.
Wait again.
Come on.
But yeah, but that's also the over romanticization thingy.
Yes.
Is like because to fix all of the lack of romance in my parents' marriage, I consumed.
Shucks, bro. That's deep.
Yeah, like
That
I
is deep.
consumed a lot of outside romance.
Yeah,
like you guys have had the conversation about like rom-coms, sitcoms,
Yes.
all of that stuff and how it affects your brain. And I
Yes.
consumed a lot of TV because I was the only kid in the house. So no one could have a conversation with me because no one had time nor the energy to figure out what I'm trying to say. So I had a lot of conversations by myself or with
Were
the
you
TV.
the kid watching Days of Our Lives alone?
The judgment is unnecessary. I feel judged. I feel
You're watching
judged.
Stefano Timera.
Yeah, no.
One woman, one desire, one
No.
TV,
Passion.
one brain.
Days of Our Lives. Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
Like, negele da, my dog.
It's tough, bro.
When Malena was busy killing people,
It's
got
tough.
secrets.
You saw divorce or like, you know, toxic relationships, and I hate using that word, but just broken relationship at home. And you consumed it.
Yeah.
With boldness. Pela, who's that chick who married all the brothers?
Sing Malena, man.
No, Malina.
Brooke Logan.
Yeah. I'm a fit. It's tough.
It's tough.
That's tough, bro. It's rough.
No, but this is the thing is I consumed so much content. Like, understand, you know, remember those 7:30 sitcoms on SABC One where we had
100.
that run of black sitcoms.
Yeah.
That
My Wife and Kids.
My Wife and Kids. Like
who was on there as well?
My Wife and Kids, one-on-one, half and half. Like I've actually.
What was the sitcom with the dad and the daughter?
One-on-one?
That thing was bad. When I look back now,
It's so good.
I know.
So good.
But when I look back, I'm like, you know that thing, man? It's so bad.
Don't say it.
I romanticized being a single father.
Yep. Yep.
In my little brain. That's when I was now looking back in hindsight. I'm like, those shows were bad for us, bro.
Oh, no, they were terrible for us.
Yeah. Because that guy
Terrible.
had everything.
Yeah.
The guy had the flyest clothes, had the flyest apartment, was sleeping with whoever
Whoever
fly
you
woman,
wanted.
and still could raise a girl
Yeah.
and empower her.
And give her strength. In a time when a boy is treating her some kind of way, he'd show up.
And then he's there talking to
flare
his
them.
daughter
It was the whole
about
thing.
dating and what. Bad, bro.
My nigga. So the thing is,
Bad.
it wasn't those ones. Ironically, I was more addicted to the ones where people were happy.
Yes.
Happy.
Yes.
So I loved the ones where they were married and doing life. And obviously, like, I've been wanting to do this. And, like, guys, don't judge me. It's just, like, I feel like the Cosby Show would still slap, even though I know I shouldn't watch it because of Bill Cosby. But, like, I'm not watching it. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, those shows where, like, people were married and I felt like they even went through hard times, even though it was 30 minutes of hard times. I don't know what hard times I was actually seeing.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like, I watched those relationships and I thought that's what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on here,
not it.
but that's what it is. And that's the only other point of reference I had because also for me to interact with other families, it meant effort.
Yeah.
Adults had to change their schedules.
Yeah, sure.
Because I walked into my mother's life at 35.
Sure.
She was older than I am now.
Yeah. Sure.
And had me.
Sure.
Like she was, because I'm 32 now. Yeah, she was 3 years older than I am now.
Sure.
And I already have a busy schedule.
Yeah.
So she had a busy schedule. My father, who already wasn't wanting to be present,
schedule.
was a busy man. And our helper and everybody else. So everyone existed to make the adult version of our lives make sense. And I had to like plug in where I could. So I couldn't spend time in healthy families to take from there. So I watched TV.
Damn, bro. That's rough.
So as a result, I mean, case in point, a big example, and I think Simba
that's
said it
rough.
in one of your episodes where it's like, case in point, one big thing that I realized I had to let go of was thinking that sex equaled happiness.
Yes.
Because remember, in
There,
all
you see
those
that one.
shows,
That one.
that one had us all, babe. Here. In all those shows, they would fight, it would be bad, hene. But the minute they're giggling and running up the stairs,
Damn, bro.
we happy again.
Damn, bro.
That's how you fix it.
Damn, bro.
That's how you fix it.
I've never engaged with what that did to a little girl's brain. Because obviously in a little boy's brain, running up the stairs, I don't care about fixing the issue. I don't know what you're going to do there. That's what I want. But for you,
No, I liken that to actual romance. Wow. I liken that to, that is how you know that you're good.
wow.
You know, because it was a thing where she'd be upset, he'd be upset, whatever it is. And, you know, tikili,
Wow.
tikinini, all of a sudden, we good.
Sheesh, bro.
But as a result, I mean, that's deeply ingrained because I've actually started doing a bit of a study on my brain about it. Where I'm like, when I watch shows now, my brain automatically is waiting until the most intimate moment to see if this relationship is real
It's
or
gonna
not.
work. Wow.
Which
Sheesh.
is severely traumatizing when you think about it like that and out loud. But that was it. And that's how I was programmed. So that was what my first relationship was. Seeing as we opened it, we're here now.
Yeah.
My first relationship was work it out in that way. Because I was like, happiness, sex, happiness. Sure.
Yeah, we're good.
That's it.
We're good.
So that's it. That ended, obviously.
Shut up.
Next relationship was, okay, so we focused too much on that stuff. Let's see if someone can listen to me. And then they listened.
And they listen.
You know what I'm saying? And then the next thing was, you know, and then I honestly feel like I've used my baby relationships, if you want to call them that,
Yeah.
to work out each little piece.
Relation. I mean, it sounds wrong when you say it like that.
But they were.
I know, but it's like you had relationships with babies.
Yeah, like they were, okay, sorry.
But they were
My
short.
short
Short stints.
stints
Yes.
in romantic entanglements.
Yes. Hey.
Linda. Anyway, so yeah, my short stints in romantic entanglements, I used them to work out
Sure.
each issue.
Crazy, bro.
I haven't fully fixed the one that was in the beginning there because, as I said, my brain is, that one's in me.
Yes.
The rest of it, I'm now starting to get around. But I think that's what it was, is I over-romanticized, to answer the initial question that led to this path. But
No, it's good. bro.
I over-romanticized it, so I wanted marriage. Like, understand, I want to get married and I want to have 4 children. Because the marriage, because I know that was wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not confused, even though ironically I'm running towards the guy.
Yeah.
But I know that was wrong.
Yes.
That's layers. But anyway, so that's that. And the 4 kids because I watched the show called Brothers and Sisters. And granted, it's very wealthy white people, wealthy white peopling. But I think I've always admired people who have siblings because I never lived with any of my siblings. Like they were people in my life, but I never lived with a sibling. I've never had, like, my life wasn't with a sibling.
Yes.
I was an only child, effectively.
Yeah.
And I watched people with siblings, and it felt like there was someone else on their team. And as a result, I'm like, I want all the babies.
Yes.
Like, I want 4 of them.
Yes.
Like, I want my house to be filled with humans, and I want them to feel like they can understand each other. Because as I said, I had a 30-year difference between the youngest person in the house. Well, actually, maybe 20 years, because my aunt was about just in like her early 20s.
Sure.
But yeah, I always had a good 20-year difference between me and the youngest person in the house.
Sheesh, bro.
So I want my kids to experience what it's like to be a kid with someone
other kids.
else.
Yeah. That partnership thing is crazy because I remember somebody saying they're an only child and I think it was their mother's 50th or something, you know, and they're like, bro, I'm planning this thing alone. And I was like, oh, smack, because it was my mom's 50th this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot imagine just like bearing all of that
By yourself.
by myself.
Yeah.
And my sisters are young.
Yeah.
But at least I have
You have
people
somebody,
to talk
yeah.
to.
Even if they're just there to chat.
Yeah.
Or, guys, this is expensive.
Yeah,
They'll be
yeah.
like, skisi, ne?
Yeah.
The type of thing. Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, yeah, see, that's buck.
Yeah.
But I hear you. Which there's a you know, a segment I want us to get into.
Go ahead.
But we'll close with it.
Yeah.
So now with all of that, you know, I think it's just, yeah, maybe let me go here straight. Like,
Go.
where are you now? You know, it's crazy just from this conversation how, you know, divorce can set somebody's trajectory in how they relationship, right? Which is, again, how we started this conversation and seeing how both our parents' divorce kind of effectively had a significant role in how we've played out relationships, you know, and again, maybe for me, I didn't even go into depth with my story.
Because that's my thing is I was also like, I have questions for you.
Please.
Can I?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
before, obviously, you
No, it's cool.
you tie it together. So my question is, because I was like, I wanted you to share so you understand my perspective of working through the divorce type of thing.
Yes.
So in your case, obviously, you found a healthy marriage and, you know, and all of that stuff. So like, how are you answering those questions? Like, how is it playing out for you in trying to answer those questions? Like, I would love to hear an example because as I said, I want to grow.
Sure.
But I won't know until I know.
Yeah.
You in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not in the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how have you worked through? Because you even talked about like, you know, your daughter and stuff like that. And you're like, is this what? Could I have an example if you can share type of vibe of like, even like an easy light one, of course.
No, yeah. So I'm trying to think like how I've worked out.
Or the answers to your questions.
So I don't have any answers, and that's the thing I've settled on. That again, the only person who can give me answers for why they left is my dad. You know, and you know the 4 years from the separation to the actual divorce. I mean, I tried, you know, going on dates with the man, and it just never happened. And then they got divorced. I just went my own way and just thought. I remember first year making an active, conscious decision. I'm gonna be everything my dad is not. Right. So my dad doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, you know, polite.
Yeah.
I'm like, stuff all of that.
All of it.
I'm gonna anything that's smokable, I'm smoking.
I'm there, dog.
Anything that's drinkable, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And I think it's at the bottom of that season that Jesus was like, okay, yeah. Hey,
All
you
right.
wanna kill yourself?
We
Come.
see it. Okay.
And if literally at the end of the 3 years, that's when Jesus found me, right?
Wow.
But I had just said, like, I'm done. Because the person I was growing up to be has has just left, right? And I've said this before. Again, it's a coach who's like, let me introduce you to the sports. Let me give you the rules of the sports. Let me coach you on how to play the thing. All right, first match, I'm out. Right?
See you on the flip, dog.
Then I'm like, it's not, forget I'm leaving you halfway through the tournament.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm like, it's stupid that we comparing scars, because I'm like, I wish you had left at 22. I wish you bounced at 22.
We're trauma bonding.
I'm like, don't bounce at 15. Like, dude, I'm getting into the game, right? And so he bounced. And so all of that to say, I think, I didn't get any answers. I will effectively get answers from him. I in a very non-direct way, again, used my experience with marriage and having a kid to try and answer those questions. And it's in the silence after the day was crazy, the season was crazy, whatever. When things are good, I'm not asking those questions, bro. Like when me and my wife are cool, everything is nice. My kid is behaving. It has nothing to do with. I'm like, I'm not even thinking. I'm just in the moment, right? It's when things go haywire.
When the fire is fiery.
Yeah, where I sit down and I'm like, and click. Right?
Actually.
Yeah, bro. Because obviously, nobody divorces when things are nice. No one is like, wow, this is
going great.
Such a great relationship.
I'm out.
Right? So it's in the moments when things are hot, and then the temptation to be like, how do we end all of this stuff? Right?
Hectic.
And then you're like, yeah, man, like maybe this is why people divorce. And let me say, I don't think that there was ever a time in my marriage where there was something that was hectic enough. And we've gone through stuff. Let me just say that we've gone through stuff.
The people know.
But I can say to my wife, the stuff we've gone through, but there was nothing in me that was like, yeah, this is it. Bro.
This is it. We're done.
We have to, and there's people who've gotten there, and that's part of the reason why I think Theola's episode was also such a powerful one for me, because I know people who are sitting at the edge of jumping, and they just like
they're standing on the bridge.
Yeah, one more thing, I'm out.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, yo, don't, man. Like, I know things are bad, but I don't think things are unsolvable.
Unfixable, yeah.
I think you can fix this. It might take us a while.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of tears. There's gonna be a lot of work, etc.
And it's gonna hurt, but it's worth
gonna suck.
Yeah.
But jumping off, right? In fact, there's a friend of ours that we know, and I'm gonna get her on the thing. She's older, probably like in her late 40s, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has 2 kids. Anyway, responded to the divorce thing, and she was like, for her, when Theola was talking about, the torture that divorce is, she was like, what makes it torturous as well is after you have gone through the divorce and how everybody's looking at you, She's like, so much so that you think the birds and trees are also laughing at you and judging you, and I'm like, oh shucks, bro, like that's why I'm like, don't jump, man. This thing is rough.
Yeah, because the water isn't nice.
No.
When you land.
No. Like, and that's the thing. You think if I just jump off, like
it'll be fine.
The thing will be. It's gonna be rough, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And so all that to say, I've never gotten to a point where I think I was like, I've never gotten to the edge thinking that I wanna jump, but my dad leaving and obviously leaving through the divorce as well is gonna be a thing that I deal with till I die.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it would be gone, but it clearly hasn't left. Right?
It's written into your tapestry,
still,
dude.
Yeah, it's still there. And I think the thing now that I'm fighting against, especially in my marriage, and is, let's not let this be our narrative. Let's not let this be our story. I sometimes like just ball out, bro, when I think about my kid, and I'm like, Chassis, bro, if I leave this kid, dog, like, it's gonna be rough for her, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
It's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck.
A lot.
Like, and as a kid who's gone through that, I know that.
Yeah.
Right?
As
I'm
a kid
like,
who went through it, even though the man wasn't present, it
this
sucks.
thing sucks, bro.
It sucks.
Like I pick my
Hard.
kid up from school.
Yeah.
The first thing she asks me is, "Mama home?" Right now that Uncle Grace is always at the house. Is Uncle Grace at the house? If Uncle Grace is not at the house, she's mad. If Mama's not at the house, she's mad. And then turns out that when Mama picks her up, she's asking the same thing about me. So I'm like, now imagine she's asking that question and Babo is not there. Like, it doesn't live with us
And
anymore.
that's
I'm like,
and that's an answer you have to give her continuously
Every
until she
day.
gets it. You.
and then she'll see me on the weekends and then wonder, why aren't you just coming
Here.
home like you were there?
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro,
That's like pivotally changing someone's reality.
no, hard, bro. And so I think what my parents' divorce has gifted me, ironically,
Yeah.
is just resilience, man. Right? I'm like, we're not doing this thing, dog. Right? It's the old saying, you know, smart people learn from their mistakes, wise people learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it sucks that my mother had to go through that.
Yeah.
It sucks that they went through that. We went through that as a family. But that school fees was paid for me. I'm not
going there.
I got the lesson.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that thing, dog.
But that's what I'm saying is it's in my case it's the same thing where I'm like I don't think as much as people say like divorce begets divorce because you know how people say like divorced kids get divorces.
What?
Like, apparently like it's a hereditary disease.
What?
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
you just
nah,
inherit
guys,
divorce.
from my experience, kids of divorce know how to fight a little harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Granted,
Yeah.
in my case, I do think that I'm working on the fight a little harder for the right things.
Yeah.
But understand,
Yeah.
divorce is not a wed.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, no.
No.
Like, obviously, just marry somebody who's worthy of having that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's not a word. What are we
Yeah.
doing? Because, like you said, we've been schooled. We went.
No,
We
bro.
graduated.
No, bro.
Like, we know how to not pick the person I would want to divorce in the first place.
Yeah, hundreds.
Obviously, life happens. I'm not going to
Hundreds.
sit
No,
here and
no,
say
no.
things don't
1,000,
change.
yeah.
But legit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I haven't really met a divorced kid. Because I mean, I had like a lot of kids. Because it's back when it was kind of normalized, you know, in
Yeah.
like
It was
when we were
our,
kids.
yeah, we were the kids.
Yeah, we
who
were the kids where these things got normalized.
Yeah.
Keywords. Anyway, but yeah, like, and like they, you know, kids were good, whatever it is. I had a lot of friends who had divorced parents and whatever. And those people either, it's ironic, they're either one way or another. It's either they don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even start.
They hate marriage,
But
bro.
it's not they don't start because they don't want it or don't respect it or like, but they don't start because they don't think that it's worthy of going through that
Sure.
if I'm not going to fight for it.
Sure.
You
Sure.
get me? So
Sure.
it's more of that. I think people think that we take relationships loosely. I'm not going to say we, sorry. But like it's a loose thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing where you know how big and important this thing
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
You know
sure.
the type of damage you can do.
Yep.
Which means that fear is what
Yep.
might stop you from committing.
Yep.
Not necessarily I'm not doing it because it's hard. Relationships are a lot. No.
No.
I know how hectic relationships are. And I know if I'm going to love and I'm going to love hard, I want to do it properly.
Yeah.
Which means I'd rather date you for 10 years.
Yeah.
And figure out if you're right or not. Type of vibe.
Don't.
Don't.
No.
Don't.
We don't condone 10-year relationships without marriage here, please.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. No, I'm not saying this for me, but I'm just, you
I
know
know,
what I
I
mean?
know, I know,
Like,
I know,
that's
I
the
know.
view. Is they're like,
know.
I've seen a good, I've seen a bad, and it's
Yes.
worst, because divorce, let's be serious,
Yeah,
is
no, that thing
worst.
sucks, bro. Yeah.
Type of thing. I've seen it all, and I know what good could be, and I don't want to play with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's precious.
yeah.
Sometimes maybe put on a pedestal a little too high.
Yeah.
And that's what stops people.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen people who like just are like, relationships, nah.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
So yeah, that's the school I think we went to, dog.
No, that's
Anyway,
dope, man.
so you were going on something and then I asked my
Yeah,
question.
no, that was a good question, bro. Because and I haven't fully processed that question for myself. I mean, again, I'm seeing like very, very tiny pockets of how this thing is playing out and how my parents' scar, which became my scar, has motivated me to fight a little harder. But I can't sit here and lie and say that's the primary thing. Obviously, Jesus is the primary thing for why I want to keep my
Come on,
marriage
somebody.
going. But that is there. It's part of my story, and it is there. You know what I mean? With that, that's the thing I wanted us to end off with is just how you dealing with going into your next relationship now. And knowing what you know. you know, with relationship 1, 2, and the third one, and all the brokenness that went into all 3 relationships.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're at a different place in your faith now, and you've had all those experiences.
Yeah.
You know, So how are you approaching relationships now as a child of divorce?
Honestly, because as I said, I'm still processing through the wound and not realizing how deep it actually is.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those times where I like to say that, guys, believing in Jesus is just practical. Like it's not just you know, hairy fairy faith stuff.
Sure.
Because loving someone who loves Jesus more than they love you is a beautiful immovable. You know what I mean? And I think that's all I got right now, because I'm like, I just need someone who loves Jesus, because at least it's a good starting point. I got a lot of baggage. I got a lot of mess. And there's a lot going on here. And as I said, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, as a setting in my brain, obviously there's therapy and there's ways to work through it, but you never know until you're in it.
Sure.
And I won't know until I'm in it that I'm dealing with this specific thing. Because I haven't been, as I said, in relationships that have been long enough where like you've gone through all of it. And I don't think you ever are in a relationship long enough that you've gone through all of it. But I haven't been in long enough relationships where I've kind of really gotten in there. You know what I'm saying? Like seen the mess, fixed it slightly, come out, fixed it slightly, come out.
Yes.
It's just been like all of the surface level stuff that hurts, but whatever. So anyway, I say that to say I need something outside of myself to be the judge of whether this is right for me or not.
Sure.
Like legit.
Sure.
Because because I don't know if I can be right now.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I'm like, it's just practical to believe in Jesus, because I'm like, Jesus, this has to be yours.
You take it.
It has to be.
Yeah,
because I know how I'm broken, which is even scarier. Like, I know how I'm broken, and I don't know how it's going to play out. Because also keep in mind, that is someone else from another family, from another background, with their own stuff. Because the one thing that's unfortunate about over romanticizing relationships is, let's be serious, you build a relationship with yourself. So,
come on,
like,
now.
I'm just dating a male version of me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's another reality I had to reach recently. That I'm not dating me.
Yes.
I'm dating a whole person who has the same bag of nonsense as I do. And we have to put the nonsense next to each other and see if it works. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense unless it's God ordained.
Yeah, sure.
It just, it can't.
Yeah, hundreds.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like having a child. Like, you don't know who's going to come out.
Hey.
Like, you were blessed. She slept. It was nice. Mara, for all I know, I give birth to a demon.
Hey.
Who's
Who's gonna strangle you in your sleep?
You know what I mean?
Love it.
But Anna Marie, what those horror movies? Like, I'm like, and I realize this, but this is my interactions with most people. But I think in this one, it's more specific because I have very specific brokenness.
Yes.
And it's in a very specific context, because in relationships, I do change. And it doesn't hurt me, but I know I change. And if I'm going to change, I need to know that at least God is holding me. Like, he's my lifeline. Because let's be serious, I'm jumping. I'm signing.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm in, though.
Like,
You a man's?
you a men's?
I'm a women's?
I'm a women's.
Let's do this.
Let's go. Let's go make 4 babies and be happy. And I'm like, I need Jesus to be my, he's my safety.
Yeah.
Like, he's my lifeline.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I can describe where I'm at right now.
That's dope,
Because I need a lifeline at the moment. And obviously I'm working through that now, in the case of working through what singleness is in a glorification kind of a way.
Yeah.
Because for a very long time, I just was single in the context of I'm going to get married. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's my existence. Let's not talk
I'm
about
single
it.
because I'm not married.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not single. I'm not married. That is my status. Not married.
Yes.
But it's coming, don't worry.
Yes.
Can't chaba wa nyatsa.
Yeah,
Nako
yeah,
ya kaya.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? But
My God is still busy.
my God is so busy. Come on. Please, man. Anyway, so this is my thing. And also because of the age I've gotten to and still being single, I realized that I'm like, there's a lot of work to be done here. And I thought it was personal work, like the therapies and unpacking self-love. I'm like, yes, but what is self-love? Like, what is it? It looks so different for so many different people. But anyway, that being said, I needed to sit down and be like, I need something immovable, which is ironic because I became a Christian during the course of my parents' to the end of my parents' divorce, actually just post.
Sure.
And it's because of the fact that Jesus wasn't immovable.
Yeah.
He don't change. His word says the same thing today, yesterday, tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years. It's the same. And I needed something constant in a world full of change. And I didn't realize that word speaks to me now in a different way. Because in this case, I'm trying to build something new. And I'm like, I need that constant.
Yeah.
I need to be like, we're both accountable, not to each other.
Come on now.
But to Jesus.
Come on now.
So if we're going to have a conversation, if we do end up at a place where, look, it needs to end, it needs to be that we prayed, we fasted, we did all the things. We said hallelujah, amen, let's live pasta, we did all the things that God would call us to do.
Yeah.
To either fight or let go.
Yeah.
And because my thing is, I'm ready to fight all day, every day. I'm in, ride or die, let's go. But I need to know that there's something hurting me. Like if I jump, I need to know there's a string there to be like, hey,
1,000, bro.
So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
That's dope. I'm reminded of we were at a teen camp last year, and I was speaking, and I was preaching on Ephesians 6.
Yeah.
Well, 5 into 6.
Yeah.
You know, so
that little cuts where they take those first couple verses of the next chapter.
Yeah, husband, wives into parents, kids, employees, employer, right? And I remember saying to those kids, man, and was it a Sunday night or Saturday night? It was a Saturday night.
It was a weekend.
It was a Saturday night. And after that talk, I was driving back home. Yeah. Right? And I remember speaking to them about, Christian marriage, obviously from Ephesians. And I said to them, just as a practical example, I'm standing in front of all of you now, and you can see me here talking, right? Unless there's a hologram.
Hey.
But you can see me, I'm here.
Yeah.
The only thing that my wife is holding on to, well, two things.
I remember this, but continue.
One, it's my word that I left her with when I left the house in the morning.
What I said.
And I said I'm going to
teen camp.
I'm going to go speak at a camp with teenagers, and I'll be back at this time. That's one she has.
Yeah.
And the most important thing that anchors her is our fear of God.
Yep.
Right? Other than that, she has nothing.
Squat.
Zero.
With 2 hands.
I could have been at Konka that Saturday.
With peace.
Easy. I would have told them at a teen camp, easy, call you, Tracy, my wife is going to call you and ask you if I'm speaking. Yeah, I just say I'm there. And I could be at Konka. Right?
Even on the way back from the teen camp. Because it's true, Angere.
Yeah.
I did go to the teen camp.
Yeah, I did. Exactly. I could leave the teen camp, go to Konka, and then
come back and be like, yo, we ran late. I was talking to the
kids.
Bro.
And the kids were asking a lot of questions about the God and the Jesus.
And the Gospels.
So I was stuck, right? The only thing she has, bro, is God and my word. Forget my word. My word means nothing to some extent. I'm like, if there's no fear of God, this thing is ending up in divorce, bro.
Let it go.
Zero. There's just nothing, dog.
All divorced kids should believe in Jesus. Hashtag just
no,
saying.
That's not a joke.
Like, in a real way.
I'm like, somebody could be like, okay, so you guys are friends. Is this the thing that's going to sustain your... Because now, I'm like, we're talking about divorce now, right? Yeah. Is your friendship going to sustain your marriage? Yeah, it will. Yeah. It's a very important ingredient. It's a very important part of the
blessing and gift from Jesus.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah. I think if you're friends, you have a very high chance of surviving. Yeah. Right? If you guys manage your finances well, would this thing survive? Yeah. Money is a very big reason why people divorce, right? Mm-hmm. If I keep my zip closed, is this thing going to help us last long? It will, right? All those things considered, right? I still have my heart. My wife has her heart. I'm not when we sleep, there's no chain by our bedside. No, I'm not.
It's not a ball and chain.
I'm not
as they
tying
call it.
anybody
Yeah.
so that she doesn't wake up and run away or in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. No, you know. Like I came back from school with white people in my house. There's a very real chance that I could wake up and this chick is not next to me.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
I wake up, she wakes up, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Right? Very high chance. With all of these things in there.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember driving back home after that night and I was like, it's God, you know. What I said was true, was a good example for the kids. But my man, I really don't have anything else besides you. Like fear in you. I have nothing,
I got
bro.
squat, dog.
I could drive now. Said
Yeah.
I'm good. I know where I was. Am I checking up on my wife every 2 hours? I'm not.
Yeah.
I told her I arrived, checked up on her during lunchtime,
Yeah.
told her when I was leaving. Where could she have been? I don't know.
Hours.
She could have been somewhere else.
Doing anything else.
But the only thing that gave me comfort and just a sense of calmness, peace, stability, I'm like, if she don't fear the Lord, man, like, I don't have anything, bro. No amount of family, no amount of money.
No responsibility, no
Mfana,
like none of it.
When your heart says, me, I'm done, this is what I want, nothing is holding it, bro.
Because that's the thing as well, is keeping in mind, and that's why I'm like the divorce thing also, that's why I say children of divorce believe in Jesus, is you know how much you can break with ease. Like, you had a full life that was like this, and it went poof. I had, literally my parents were together for 20, because they were obviously 1 year older than me. They were together for a good 20 years that I was present for.
Yes.
They were together for 30 by the time
Yes.
I arrived. That's 30 years
Yes.
that went poof in 2 years.
Yes. Easy.
Just like that.
Easy.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Which means that what else do we got other than Jesus?
What else do you have, bro?
Like, what do we have? If 30 years can just go.
Dog. Divorce is the, like, one thing that I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know, bro. I don't know how you do I don't know how you do this without Jesus, bro. I don't know, bro.
Like, I don't know how anyone can be married or in any type of long-term relationship without Jesus. And I've learned the hard way.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's Christians who divorce. Theola was here.
Yeah.
There's Christians who divorce. Easy, right?
Yeah.
But again, even with that, I'm like, I'm fine. I don't know, bro. For me and my household,
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
For me and mine's,
I look like my dad. Nje.
yeah.
When I take my glasses off, I am my father.
Really?
Clean. I mean, he doesn't have a beard.
Can I
But
tell you something ironic?
Yeah.
So do I. It's the best.
I am like that. I am that man. Look exactly like him, right? And I remember somebody. I forgot what we were talking about, and
Yeah.
I was like, I look like him, and I have his heart as well. So my heart has to be changed by Jesus.
Yeah.
Because if Jesus is not working on this heart,
Your hearts and experiences, your whole being,
my daughter is gonna be like my sisters.
straight up.
Done.
Straight up. Because I don't look
Done.
like my mother. I am a carbon copy.
Done.
I am a female, shorter version of my father.
Wow.
I look nothing like my mother.
Wow.
As well, I mean, there's bits.
Wow.
But I look like my father.
You guys prato.
Yeah, no, we tat. Anyway, no, but they were both talkers. It's not me, and we are all loud.
All three of you, okay.
Yeah, no, and we were all loud.
Alright.
So, but this is the thing: is I'm a carbon copy of him, and the way I move, apparently, like my mom says, I walk like my dad.
Wow.
Type of thing, and also I have that
I
same.
wonder what
thing.
that does to your mom. Yeah.
This is
I actually
the
need to ask my mom because I'm like, all three of us look like my dad. What is this?
What is this? What does this feel like?
Does our existence like trigger you?
But that's what I'm saying is, and that's where I got to the thing. Sorry, this is a different chat, and we're making this long. But anyway, to quickly say it, that's when I started realizing that my similar features to my father can also be like living trauma to my mother.
Stocks, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like I am a living, existing thing person that she loves
Yeah, no,
wholeheartedly.
hundreds.
But I'm a reminder of something that she went through. And then on top of that, I behaved like him for a very long time.
Wow.
But anyway, so
No, that's. I mean, listen. Yeah, we said we children of divorce. I preach. My dad used to preach. That's a whole other chat for another day. And I remember my mom in one of my sermons. after church, she was like, yeah, you look like your dad there. Both me, because David was there next to me, both me and David were like, now you're messing it up. You're screwing it up now. So we done.
But this is the thing is, so I took it as an insult for a while, and then I realized that I'm like, you know what, she needs to work through it the way she's going to work through it. Because I always took it as an insult that I look like my dad, because what girl wants to look like their father?
Yeah, no, that's why, hey, listen, when people are like, your daughter looks like you, I'm like, she has to get married one day. She must not look like a man.
Don't say that, bruh. No, because also on top of that, my mother's short.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get her height, her daintiness, her smallness.
Yes.
Like, I got my dad.
But you got your mom's fashion. You didn't. Okay. Let's end this.
That's a different conversation.
Guys, this was dope. Trey, appreciate you, dog.
I appreciate you too, dog.
This was cool, man. And sincerely, my prayer is that like you would not live from your scar. And anyone who is a child of divorce, there's hope. Don't live from your scars, man. We cannot be families and a generation that's defined by what we're running away from.
By our trauma.
Yeah, let's be defined by our hopes. Let's be defined by our dreams for better families, a better community, better relationships. Let's be, defined by, especially as Black people, defined by a new narrative that we're creating, and not narratives, stories, or scars that we're running away from. Because then we just pass that on to our kids as well,
Which isn't nice.
No, yeah.
So
anyway. Thanks, Trey.
Thanks, friend.
All right, 2.5. Peace.